Right now at noon, hear from a woman who relies on food share ahead of a stoppage of benefits starting this weekend. Plus, Halloween can be a spooky time for pets, often triggering a spike in emergency visits. How you can keep your furry friends safe tomorrow. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Sprider. Speaking of Halloween, first at noon, we're looking ahead to that forecast, of course, in Madison. Let's get a first check of that now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey Josh, we're seeing some sunny skies right now, but we are going to see clouds develop a little bit later in the afternoon, mainly for Madison and areas to the west. Should stay sunny for places to the east, and we will see a very light chance of some sprinkles further west near the Mississippi River, but for the most part staying dry through the overnight hours with sunshine to start Halloween. But similar to today, we'll see those cloudy skies develop later in the afternoon. Now looking at the forecast for the afternoon today, we'll be seeing highs in the middle to lower 50s. Still we'll see a few peaks of sunshine throughout the rest of the day. And as we get into the overnight hours, the cloud cover that we're going to see will lead to temperatures not quite as cool as this morning, but still certainly chilly, as lows will drop into the middle and upper 30s. And then a quick preview for tomorrow will show you that we're going to see a decent amount of cloud cover with highs in the lower 50s, and there will be a very small chance of some showers for the trick-or-treating hours, but I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. In 2 days, people who receive federal food assistance, known in Wisconsin as Food Share, will not receive the benefits on their EBT cards. An estimated 700,000 Wisconsinites use Food Share, including more than 24,000 families and households in Dane County. Many of those households include children and people who are disabled. This halting in assistance is putting an extra strain on local food pantries. Some say they have had an influx in families seeking help. We heard from one woman with disabilities relying on Food Share who stopped by the River Food Pantry.
I get full benefits, and how am I supposed to eat and get food if I don't get my Food Share, my EBT?
Wisconsin is one of more than 24 states suing the Trump administration over the stoppage of funds. Attorney General Josh Kaul says the administration can and should be using emergency funds to help people make ends meet. Right now, other federal programs are also in trouble. Head Start classrooms across the country will have to close their doors to children from low-income households, also due to a lapse in funding on November 1st. That includes the Southwestern Wisconsin Community Action Program, which is set to shut down 9 of its preschools and Head Start classrooms starting Monday. That will take a toll on both families who rely on Head Start and the teachers who work there.
I personally have 6 kids at home. My husband does work, but it's not enough to feed 6 kids and pay the bills. So, I mean, we will be able to get unemployment, but that doesn't feed a family.
Even if the government shutdown ends soon, staff tell us it could still take weeks to get the assistance they need approved. We're taking a look at what Madison Schools' new budget means for your property taxes. The Madison School Board approving a roughly $668 million 2025-26 fall budget. The board also voted to raise the total tax levy to almost $480 million. That means the owner of an average Madison home will see an increase of about $684 on their property tax bill. But that number drops when you factor in the state's school levy tax credit. Back when the public was hearing about the 2024 referendums, the projected levy impact was $994 for an average home. We'll take a look at this damage Hurricane Melissa left behind in Jamaica. The storm made landfall there Tuesday afternoon as a Category 5. Nearly 80% of the island nation is still without power. As recovery efforts get underway, we heard from a local man who has family in Jamaica about how dire the situation is on the ground.
I never seen that island like that. We're getting a little signal, but in and out, the signal is not coming back quite yet. In some area, you can get signal.
Melissa is now headed for Bermuda as a Category 2 storm where it won't make landfall but will still bring quick hitting bursts of strong winds and rain. So far, the hurricane has killed at least 28 people across the Caribbean. Back here at home, Henry Vilas Zoo's newest polar bear is getting acclimated to his new home. This is Siku. The zoo says he's thriving in his new environment. The 15-year-old, more than 1,200-pound bear came from the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago. He has met female polar bear Barrett, but zoo officials say breeding is more likely with 2 female bears around. The zoo is waiting for Nora from Portland's Oregon Zoo, but a problem is delaying her arrival.
There's some permitting that we have to be able to move bears across state borders, and unfortunately we do have to wait for the government to open back up for that.
Of course, the zoo is open 9:30 to 5 every day of the week. Well, we know Halloween is tomorrow, and veterinarians are warning that spooky season can be a scary time for pets, triggering a spike in emergency visits. Here's Bradley Blackburn on how to protect your furry friends.
Pet owners love to include their animals in the Halloween fun, but the American Veterinary Medical Association warns the festivities also land more pets in the emergency clinic this time of year.
A lot of pets are very susceptible to noise, and this can be a noisy time of year.
AVMA President Dr. Michael Q. Bailey says when trick-or-treaters arrive, pets may try to run out of the house. So you might want to keep them on a leash or distract them with a new toy in a quiet space.
You have new people coming to your door, and the pets may not be familiar and they may get stressed by it.
If your pet is dressing up, their costume should fit well so it doesn't cause them to choke or trip. Make sure they don't get into the treats, which can lead to toxic ingestions, intestinal blockages, and burns. Take glow sticks. While the material inside is not toxic, it is an irritant.
Just by biting into it, it's going to cause irritation to the gums. If they swallow it, then it's going to cause irritation to the GI system.
Keep the sweets, like gum and chocolate, far from your pet's reach.
Artificial sweetener, such as with xylitol, that in itself can cause a significant amount of distress and can be deadly. Chocolates can cause a significant amount of damage to the liver.
Laura Bierenbaum just adopted her pup Pigeon a couple weeks ago. She's celebrating her first Halloween with her new brother, Frank.
Sometimes loud noises make her scared, so I think we're gonna be keeping her inside and calm, and if she wants to come out, great, but we'll have her unleashed.
To ensure she's safe and happy on the scariest day of the year. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Coming up next on News 3 Now Noon, how much the Federal Reserve is cutting its benchmark interest rate, plus what Dunkin' is unveiling in its 2025 holiday menu.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
The Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 percentage point Wednesday, bringing it to its lowest rate since 2022, though Fed Chairman Jerome Powell signaled the central bank could slow down rate cuts, citing risks in the labor market. Recently, several major companies announced layoffs, including UPS, Target, Amazon, and Paramount, parent company of CBS News. ADP says private sector payrolls shrank by 32,000 jobs last month. NVIDIA is now the first publicly listed company to bypass $5 trillion in value after the tech giant's stocks rose 4.5% Wednesday. It comes amid an artificial intelligence boom, with demand surging for the company's computer chips. Earlier this week, NVIDIA announced a partnership with another tech firm, Oracle, to build AI supercomputers for the energy department, and also a $1 billion investment in Nokia to develop a 6G AI platform. And Dunkin' has unveiled its 2025 holiday menu. It includes new treats like the Cookie Butter Cloud Latte, the Ultimate Bacon Jam Breakfast Sandwich, and the Raspberry Striped Croissant. The chain is also bringing back favorites, the Peppermint Mocha and Toasted White Chocolate Signature Lattes. Starting November 1st, Dunkin' is offering rewards members seasonal savings on menu items every day through the end of December. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers at the noon hour. The Dow is up 101 points, NASDAQ up 243, and actually down 243 rather, and the S&P 500 is down 34. Pam will have today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the First Warn forecast. And later on Live at 4, I'll have what's happening this weekend in the 608. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Jahnke for the Midwest Farm Report on a Thursday. Hi, Pam.
Yeah, beautiful Thursday at that, Josh. You bet. I was kind of watching the forecast down in Indianapolis, Indiana. Of course, that's where more than 70,000. Now the count's over 72,000 FFA members are gathered together. Today's a big day. A lot of competitive events that are happening, including our Proficiency Award winners. Now, Wisconsin has 11 that are in the final phase of interviewing and talking about their Proficiency Awards. We've got quite a few from the Channel 3 WISC viewing area, including Tyler Loke, who is from Wanakee. He is a fellow that had to fly from Des Moines last night. He'll compete in Indianapolis today, and then he said he's got to fly out tonight to get back to Des Moines because he's got a calculus test at Iowa State tomorrow morning he doesn't want to miss. All of these kids are up for their accomplishments in their individual projects. Take a look, see if you know any of the neighbors or any of the families that might be associated with these kids. We'll find out who wins by the end of the day today. One fellow that really won big is a fellow named Thad Bergschneider. He's the national FFA president from Illinois. That young man started off with so many hopes and adorations and plans for being national FFA president. Then he broke his bone in his arm. He said it really changed the way he looked at the position, the responsibility, and how he communicated with people. So one of the best things he's learned is when you tell somebody, now I'm going to tell you a silly story about how I broke my arm playing basketball, suddenly you're approachable to all kinds of FFA chapter members. We're looking forward to finding out how Wisconsin stacks up. Should be able to see it. If you want to watch online, FFA.org has some fantastic audio, visuals, audio. If you need a little punch in the arm as far as energy, whoo! I said to one of my friends, you see the way that the blue and gold is carrying themselves in Indianapolis? If you didn't know FFA, you'd think it's some kind of cult. Those kids are doing fabulous. You know, you mentioned at the outset, Josh, about how people are paying attention to the potential end of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, in Wisconsin, our Fair Share program. Hey, listen, that's something that's impacting dairy as well. One of the major components that the SNAP benefits provide for are families to be able to get milk, be able to get cheese, be able to get dairy products. And our dairy manufacturers and dairy marketers are very concerned about how long this would go on and what kind of buying patterns they may experience without those reserves on hand. For example, today, barrel cheese is unchanged at $1.82. 40-pound block cheese unchanged at $1.82.5. The AA butter today up $0.0175, $1.5725. That could become my serious news item for next week, Josh, if they don't get this situation resolved pretty soon. I do have sympathy for the folks that depend on those benefits, but like I said, the dairy industry depends on those benefits in a whole different way.
Oh, we were just talking to our nutritionist a couple of days ago just how important those dairy nutrients are here, making sure we're getting our protein and everything else we need to be able to live healthy, Pam. So it is super important, that whole round picture, right?
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for your help today. We appreciate it. Have a good one.
See you later.
Well, let's get a check of your first warn forecast now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh, as we look at those three things you need to know, we are going to be seeing some cool temperatures through the weekend, then a little bit milder once we get towards the first half of next week. Not a dramatic shift in temperatures, but a little bit warmer than what we'll see this weekend. And throughout all of this, very little rain is in the forecast going forward. So first, here's another look at the forecast for the rest of today. A decent amount of sunshine with clouds developing later in the afternoon, especially for areas to the west of Madison, highs in the middle to lower 50s. Now, starting tomorrow morning for Halloween, we're going to see a good amount of sunshine to start the day, but clouds will develop during the morning for areas to the west of Madison, and then the rest of our area expect to see that cloud cover throughout the afternoon. And it also will bring in a few light showers. As I've been saying all week, though, if it does rain, it'll be very light, and a lot of the region may not see any rain at all until potentially the overnight hours. But the trick-or-treating forecast calls for a decent amount of cloud cover with just a small chance of rain. Now, like I said, a better chance of rain for the overnight hours on Halloween. Still, rain will be, if it does fall, it will be very light. Also want to point out, could see a little bit of a wintry mix further west, but again, not going to see any accumulation for sure. But the light rain is expected to continue into Saturday. Once we get to Saturday night, though, the rain will clear out, and then we're going to be pretty dry from there going forward for much of next week. Now, looking at the Halloween forecast, more cloudy skies compared to today, highs in the lower 50s. But then as we look at the trick-or-treating forecast, we're mostly going to be in the 40s throughout trick-or-treating hours, starting around 50 though, and we'll continue to see plenty of cloud cover. Again, we are going to continue to see that very small chance of rain, but if it does rain, it's not going to be too impactful. But certainly temperatures will be chilly. The good news with this Halloween forecast is that we're not really going to see a lot of wind, so that's not going to be a hazard at all, which is certainly some good news. And the forecast in general, not too bad considering some of the previous Halloweens. Last year it rained, 2 years ago it snowed and highs were in the 30s, and not showed here, but in 2019 it actually had 4 inches of snow for Madison on Halloween. So certainly better compared to those years. Now looking in general at the rain chances after, or really over the next 7 days, we have that small chance of rain for Halloween, Halloween night and Saturday, maybe a small chance of rain Sunday night, but for the most part, looking pretty dry for the foreseeable future. And temperatures, although they'll change a little bit, we'll see highs in the upper 40s for Saturday and then upper 50s for Monday and Tuesday. In general, they're still going to be pretty close to normal, and that's going to continue for the end of next week. And still not really seeing a lot of rainfall in the forecast for next week. A little bit of a better rain chance towards the end of the week, but still don't expect to see much. And those rain chances the next couple days will also only produce very, very light precipitation.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Now let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
One of the best parts of my job is getting to meet people when I'm out and about. It gives me a chance to chat about things that we can do here in the test kitchen to make your time in your kitchen that much easier. And it seems that many of you have the same requests. You want recipes that are quick, you want them to be budget friendly, and you don't want to wash lots of dishes. So with that said, let me share with you a recipe that I know you're going to love. We start by browning some Italian sausage in a deep skillet or in a soup pot, along with some onions and celery that we chopped up and a few seasonings. Now, we add a little rice wine vinegar and cook it until most of that's absorbed. Next, we stir in some water and a can of stewed tomatoes. Yep, juice and all. Just make sure you use the ones with the Italian seasoning because that gives it lots of flavor. Once that comes to a boil, we'll add half a pound of uncooked penne pasta. Yep, uncooked, and let it simmer until it's tender. That's it. Maybe top it off with some fresh basil and grated Parmesan cheese. And you have a quick meal that tastes like it cooked for hours. But it only took minutes. And it's all done in one pot. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call One Pot Italian Feast. So you'll have it on hand whenever you need a quick and tasty meal that is very budget friendly. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a quicker and more economical way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You got it, too.
Oh, welcome back. Potentially Yours here on a Thursday afternoon. Lisa Bernard from the Dane County Humane Society is here with our Pet of the Week. And boy, we've got an adorable one today.
Oh, she's super cute. She's going to slay her TV special.
Oh, absolutely.
Right now. Yeah.
This is Buffy.
Buffy. So Buffy is almost 2 months old. She's super cute. She came to us earlier this month, her and her 5 siblings.
Going right for the microphone.
She doesn't want me to talk about her because it's a secret. No, just kidding. So she and her 5 siblings came to us. They were found with other animals in Madison, and all of the siblings have hold except for her and one of her other brothers.
Okay.
So, but she's super, super sweet. They went into foster after they arrived, and they hung out with other dogs, and she just loved snuggling with the other dog
and
there.
Kisses too, the way
She
it looks.
loves giving kisses. She's very friendly. She loves people, and she loves to snuggle. She's got lots of energy, puppy energy.
Yeah, a busy body for sure.
Yeah, she's very curious. She does have her moments of unsureness at first, but she's super sweet. Yes, we're teething a little bit.
A puppy would, right?
Yes, but Buffy is so sweet and snuggly. She loves her snuggle time.
What kind of a family do you think would suit Buffy well? Oh boy, here comes Buffy.
Your turn for kisses, Josh. Anyone who wants to work with a puppy on their puppy manners and training, and then, having fun adventures with her, because she definitely wants to have them, and lots of snuggles, and obviously working through the teething portion.
Making you smile for sure, though. I mean, like,
Oh, for
and
sure.
making you work for it too. It's like just keeping an eye on Buffy is like, wow.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a fun one and very playful. But like even with her toys, she's got her toys and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been more into us than her toys. So she's a people person at such a young age.
And so curious. You can
So
just head on a swivel constantly.
And she just looks so cute with her colors and everything. Oh, hi. Yes, kiss us. Mm. So who wouldn't want to snuggle this?
Oh, absolutely. Blaze is missing out today.
I know. He's probably watching from home drooling. So
You know, this is just an awesome opportunity for not having a huge dog too. You know, something maybe a little bit more manageable for families.
I mean, she is going to grow. So they do believe she's a pit bull terrier mix.
Okay.
So what does that mean? She'll probably be at least medium size, maybe bigger, unless something else in her DNA kicks in to keep her really small. But if you need puppy classes, we do offer training.
There you go. Yeah.
We
and
have a number.
Speaking of here too, yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Lisa, for bringing in Buffy. We're definitely going to find Buffy at home. The little slayer over here. Hey, Dane County Humane Society is offering 50% off its final dog training session of the year. On their website, you can use the code SPOOKY in all caps to save on puppy preschool, canine, kindergarten, or good dog fundamentals. Certified trainers provide fun, simple instruction for all dogs of all ages. Hey, last week's pets, Fig and Salem. They were both adopted. We love to hear it. So if you're interested in adopting Buffy, you can check out giveshelter.org. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. We're back at 4.